Got our third game of the night, and this should prove to be a relative banger. I'm going to say it that way. Nordavind versus Granit. Both of them on a 60% win rate right now in their respective groups. And Granit coming from the clearly superior Group A, giving them that mental edge going into this. However, the majority of predictions went the way of Nordavind, although,
I mean,
that all changes now.
Are you changing? Are you officially changing your prediction here, Orcs?
No, you never change predictions, but I'm just saying.
You just
Group A is on fire, but I would never change the prediction late. I feel like that's really
honestly.
breaking a taboo.
Watch BTXL. Watch Nordavind get beaten, then watch BTXL lose to Galaxy Racer, and they just ruin it. Watch it. It's going to happen. I absolutely know it's going to happen. We're going to be like Group A. Come on, BTXL. This is your chance to prove you're just in a really hard group, and then they get turbo stomped by Monk. That's just what's going to happen.
I mean, I think this is the natural order when you play against Monk, but sure.
Of course, the natural order of things. Look, Lee Sin, Rumble, Thresh, and Seraphine banned.
Yeah, I think Granit as a team have shown really strong team fighting, particularly able to lean into that into the mid to late game. Abro in particular as a backline carry has been massive. But up against this Nordavind roster, you have Chrisberg, you have Ericsson, really strong carries on this team. And I think Nordavind can match them pound to pound, but it comes down to not giving them a big advantage in draft. Because if Nordavind commit to a heavy early game composition and they mis-execute, Granit will absolutely capitalize on that.
Well, all I'm saying is that Kai'Sa has been left open again. Versus Nordavind. Obviously, I'm kidding. It's not a big priority pick or it's not a big ban, but we all know that especially in ERLs, when a player is very comfortable playing a champion, he will carry them through a lot of games, particularly for Chrisberg. That has been Kai'Sa so far. Sharp onto the Nidalee, if he can do what we saw earlier being done onto the Nidalee, where you completely choke down indecision and you don't allow him to do anything in the game, that could be huge, especially because Baber's Nidalee, Jinx has been locked in and we've seen him absolutely pop off on this champion.
I love the first pick on R1 as well.
Yeah, I think that Sharp needs to really pop off here and completely dictate the early game.
Even without Thresh, they're just like, nah, Babel's Jinx. Let's go.
Yeah, and the set as well. Hezero has been really solid on this champion. I think he's found a lot of windows to punish, but it really easily sets up for the Renekton. You expect it when you see the Nidalee anyway, but also you can use this to obviously shut down that shield from the set, can go toe-to-toe to him and in the top lane in the laning phase. I feel like now Nordavind have a couple of options. I feel like keeping the Renekton as a potential flex open is important, and they do that. And actually, I really like Tristana here because it keeps the Renekton flex alive, but also threatens that AD carry flex on top of that. So the second rotation of bans for Granit, you don't really have too many great options other than support, which obviously hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, and I'd like to see something very, very, very protective on the Jinx right now. Maybe something like the Nautilus that can protect but also attack. The Tam Kent is still wide open. You could also flex the set down in the bot lane at the end of the day. But Alistar is also a very, very, very great choice. I really do like that.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of a pocket pick. I mean, honestly, Granit's picks so far are very much like the picks that attribute to them. Hesero on the set, Abro on the Jinx, and Wixo on the Alistar. And I feel like they'll pick those even in situations where they may not be fully optimal just because of their sheer comfort. And I definitely think Wixo's had his best performance on the Alistar. Now, we're going to target away some of the picks Ericsson might potentially take with that Silas. Akali is still open and available. And obviously, we just saw last game how much work that champion can do.
Yeah, I think both teams probably looking for the right option to choose her. You're going into set or Renekton, which can be flexing to either lane that Akali may want to find herself in. Notably mid. Those are two matchups that I think Akali can struggle with. So I guess both teams just cautiously looking for that Akali pickup here. The Silas ban, I wouldn't be surprised to see Akali banned away, to be completely fair, by Granit if they wanted to limit Ericsson, who has been... What I love about Ericsson is just how versatile he's been in the mid lane for Nordavind. I think he's got such a versatile champion pool. I think it's been one of the major facets for the Nordavind roster. Final ban, though, for Nordavind is going to be Diana here, with the Ezreal also banned away, which is interesting because I guess that they're sort of gauging whether Tristana is still going mid.
I think predominantly when Nordavind picks Renekton, it does end up in Ericsson's hands. So I think you sort of know where the picks are going without necessarily knowing, because Ericsson does tend to play like a huge array of champions himself. But at the end of the day, I do think that the Tristana will end up bot lane. You can also have it mid and have Kerberos on the Renekton, but then your bot lane has been extremely limited right here with Thresh out, with the Ezreal out, and then you want a roaming support for Touch. He still has his Leona Apple available, and I really like it bundled up together with Tristana to play very aggressive versus the Jinx. Yeah.
And the Akali
Okay, fair enough. The Akali for Ericsson.
I was thinking about maybe seeing a Braum here from Nordavind, but maybe they want that aggression. They don't want to have any of that pansy peeling back stuff. They just want to go all in, look for the dive, take the Jinx out. You need everything that you can to kill this Jinx, because if you kill the Jinx, realistically, you kill the comp. So against Granit, that's really the main threat that they have to be focused on dealing with.
Yeah, I think the Leona is important as well, because obviously if you go towards the top lane, assuming the Renekton's there, you have that setup for the Nidalee Spears. If you're going towards that mid area, you want some hard CC available, and Leona's often going to be able to roam that to facilitate that. I feel like going into this one, Nordavind have a great early game. If they can get the Nidalee rolling like we saw earlier, they can obviously find huge momentum if they can mimic what Sawyer did. But Granit, they have a lot of backline strength, a lot of late game.
They do, and this is where the ease of execution comes in for Granit playing, of course, against Nordavind, who's one of the top teams from their group. But sometimes a lot of teams tend to forget the laning phase when they've already drafted for a composition where they know how they want a team fight as, and then it falls off in the laning phase. And looking at Nordavind, sharp on the Nidalee, heavy skirmish early game champion, together with Renekton, it's gonna make Set's life really difficult, and Ericsson onto the Akali, a more playmaking sort of mid lane for him. So if they can survive the aggression of the early game, and if Sharp doesn't manage to shut down in decision, then yes, I feel like Granit have a huge chance of taking this.
This feels like classic Granit, though. They kind of have that ability to play away from that early aggressive meta, and they love to try and stall it out to the late game where they give Baybor his opportunity to kind of pop off. And we know that Baybor knows the absolute limits of Jinx. He knows when he can't look for resets, when he can sort of be positioned in a team fight in the right place at the right time, like how he can find executes with his ultimate at the exact right moment. Like these are things that he's incredibly gifted at doing when it comes to playing Jinx. So you give him one little edge in a team fight, and we know that Jinx just pops off and takes over. So that's one of the things that Granit have always relied on, I think, for being one of their big carry threats. However, we have highlighted that Nordavind do have the tools to kind of deal with a Jinx, and there isn't as much peel there for him as Granit would maybe usually have, apart from maybe the Zinzao. But anyway, look, let's see how this game goes. He's going to have Gulborg and Hitbrain ready to go. Is it Group A or Group B, guys?
It's Group A. We know it's Group A. B for bad, A for excellent. As we're getting ready to amazing. Oh my god.
I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe you just said that. It just it flew over my head as well.
Because you nodded. You were like, yes, A for excellent. And I was like, absolutely. But you get away with it because English is your second language. It's my first and only. Hello, we're coming back onto camera. There was a light pause, but it looks like it's already ended. So don't worry too long. Don't worry too bad. We are going to be getting into this game. Do you think that Carly's going to have a 100% win rate today? Or are we going to finally see teams either ban it or find a way to handle it?
See, I'm under the impression that scaling team composition in this meta is just huge bait. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of go buttons onto the side of Nordavind where that can make the game really, really easy for them to play. So I think it's very snowball heavy onto the side of Nordavind, and that makes the game very hard for Granit. But Jake, hurry up, read.
Oh god, when both teams met in the regular season last spring, Nordavind top laner Kerberos picked NLC's first ever Nautilus, and he went 6, 3, and 5. He collected 8 Nasus. I read that as Nautilus. Oh my god, he got 119 stacks. I am such a plonker.
Well, good thing MasterCard gave us a nice little insight there, even if you can't read. I was like,
that's not the first ever Nautilus. We've had lots of Nautilus. Maybe Nautilus top? No, I'm just an idiot. I'm also a bigger idiot because I went to think Akali's going to have a 100% win rate today. Turns out Akali doesn't have a 100% win rate because Femberven lost on it at the beginning of the day. Because, again, my brain no work. Anyway, we're into this game. We saw a very dominant game coming in from Singularity on that Akali earlier on in our second game of the day. This is Zero and Kerberos. Just going for a light trade here. And I'll keep my eyes on the mid lane because early you just expect, well, I say keep my eyes on the mid lane, but early you expect the mid lane to be a little bit more Orianna, just bullying around as much as possible. Because yeah,
Talk about mid lane. Do you think you should be talking about top lane? This is an all-out brawl between both here.
That's the ignite. Hold on. First blood.
And yeah,
Picked up like that.
I think Hestero kind of forgot that Kerberos went for the ignite instead of the flash, and because of that, of course, he's gonna have a better dueling power. Conqueror came through from the set, but I mean, there's not really any healing to be done when you're getting ignited from level 1. Not enough damage to really benefit of that. And yeah, Kerberos, he's completely fine with this. Walks a bit away so he won't take too much aggro from the minion wave, and because of that, with the Q, well, he's able to finish it off after the ignite. Nicely done by Kerberos. Just knows the limit of the matchup here and forces the TP out of his hero. He's forced the TP back himself, but he gets the lane with an extra Ruby Crystal, while there's just an extra health pot for the side of Hestero.
On the bot lane, as expected, Tristana is going to be shoving in the Jinx Alistair lane. Obviously, level 2 now is there for Wixo, so it does have a little bit of trading capabilities. As Crab's getting started up by Indecision on the top side of the map, while Sharp not made his way towards his Crab yet, but not really going to get contested.
And it's just getting traded. So bot side of the map with the priority from Nordavind. Yeah, they're going for that instead. And no camps really to be taken here. Still, you can look top side if you want to. Since Kerberos went for that ignite, he's obviously got no flash, but I don't actually know how the wave state is up there. But yeah, it's just low. Pushing into Kirby doesn't have to do anything whatsoever. So once again, as in Sao in the early game, where there's really not a lot to do here, but Muto in the mid lane with the Orianna pick, he didn't want to first pick the Akali. He wants to get the counter matchup in. He does have a ranged matchup into the Akali, and he has to make the outmost of it, because we know what happens once she gets the first item.
Already, more action breaking out in the top lane. We already had that first blood. The Curb dashing into Zero, gets a nice heal off it. Here comes Indecision. Haymaker's down, the flashes are on, and that's the knock-up. Curb will lose his life as Zero gets the kill. Now here in the bottom lane, Wixo gets bot back as he's going low. Crispberg gets a little bit more auto-attack damage off. The ignite is ticking, but it's not going to be enough. No roast beef today in the bot lane.
Yeah, there's just a bit more dueling power there, but up towards that top side again. Indecision didn't have the priority for a gank, so you know what, he decided just to shadow in case anyone was going to come up for a gank, and he was rewarded for that patience. Sharp came around, but big minion wave. Kerberos got CC'd down and not much to do in that situation. Just really well played from Indecision, choosing to shadow his top laner in that situation.
It does do somewhat to alleviate the pressure that was brought in the top of it in the beginning of the game. But Curb now has that ignite up as Touch is spotted out by the Scryers, but I don't think we're going to see any scrapping here, as Wixo does have his ignite and Touch does not. There's also a cleanse on Baber, so Granit probably okay just to take this a little bit more relaxed. They've got a CS lead as well on Baber as well. As it's 500 gold lead for Granit right now. You see the gold difference and where it is right now. 100 in the bot lane, 200 in the mid. Then top lane, a little bit of a lead over there for Zero as well.
And you know, that's absolutely perfect. Granit, we talked about it. They just need to kind of slow the game down a bit.
Oh, it looks like they're trying to speed it up, actually. Indecision's coming in, misses the Whimper coming lightning, and Crispberg is going to find himself a kill. Indecision gets the 3-point strike, but Ericsson has made his way forward. Heals coming in, and the death is the... Indecision! I respect the play.
Yeah, and I'm going to go in here and say I really don't respect that. I feel like that's a bit miscoordinated from every side. You take a look onto Muta right now. He TP'd into mid lane. So as this play pans out, Muta TP'd into mid lane. Then they start the skirmish when they know they have a TP deficit from the mid lane. And when they're not able to just one-shot Touch. Touch, of course, does still have flash. I think it just becomes a bit of an interesting situation. Yes, he does get the trade-off onto Crispberg, but I really don't think that's a worth situation.
Good. Got the ignite. Waiting for a potential ability to jump onto Zero, although Zero's got the level 6, so it might be a little bit hard for them to go for this fight. He realizes that. So Zero's just going to zone him off the farm for now. The dragon's being started up by Sharp. Going to be able to pick up this first dragon of the game, the Cloud. While bot lane getting shoved in, Baber actually not quite there.
the more I look
for
at
now.
The more I look at the play that just happened, the more I kind of regret it from the side of Granit, because, you know, Muta did a good job. He just shoved out the wave. He got to play it himself, and if they could back up as soon as that Kali TP came through, they would just have been stellar. They would have gotten such an advantage in mid lane. But
the more you think about it, the more it hurts, Schoolboy.
Yeah, that is actually what I'm trying to say. Good shout.
Ericsson is just having a little bit of a walk around the map, trying to see if there's any potential plays to be made, any rotations to be made. Although his bot lane are shoving in quite hard right now, so they're probably not going to want to go for a tower dive. And Muta's just holding the wave away from him. The nice lead being built up here by Muta in just the CS area, although with that assist on Ericsson, somewhat negated, although Muta did pick up a plate as well, so kind of gold for gold. It's kind of okay. Wixo's actually going to make his way over. I think he's just helping Muta shove the wave in. Muta may want to go for a reset or shove in a pretty big wave here, and now they can rotate it towards this Rift Herald.
We talk about pressure. Mid lane pressure gained by Wixo as well. Topside pressure is from Hezero, so right now there's not a lot of opportunities from Nordavind to actually come in here on this Rift Herald and contest it, so does seem like the first Rift Herald of the game is just gonna go over to the side of Granit. And I like the read as well. Wixo not deciding to overstep. Okay.
That's a good overstep. They've got the damage. Touch is trying to jump in as Crispert comes over the wall. The solar flare's there. Babel with a great flash. Slams to Super Mega Death Rocket. Big bob back though by Crispert as the rockets won't do enough damage, and Sharp's here to save the day. Wixo's low, but he's flashing anyway. He's gonna bomb Crispert down, and Sharp finds the kill. Babel's low, and Crispbert's jumping in. This is going to be the end of days for the Jinx. The flash, the follow up, and this is it. Crispert secures the kill.
Really nicely done by Crispberg, finding the rocket jump angle from across the tower and then just knocking Viper away before Touch actually gets to get taken down. And yeah, we will get a replay of it here. Initially, really nicely done by Wixo, catches him off guard with the Hex Bash, but then you see Crispberg starts to come in here and just not enough damage here. And remember, Granit's jungler was taking Rift Herald, so right now there's no way to know where Sharp would have been, and yeah, Sharp just down here, ready to take over the cleanup. WB set come through.
Hold on, Zero very, very low, and Exton. We're in a replay and I'm play-by-player, but Zero did get chunked out. Kerr popped the ulti, popped the ignite. Zero able to survive, does have teleport. I think he went a little bit too early as Ericsson was making his way over. It was a little bit too slow to the punch. Gets a plate though, so Kerr can be overall happy with the play.
Yeah, gets a plate. Might also force a TP out unless he just wants to say, all right, I'm going to cut my losses and I'm not going to get the farm. But no, here you see it. Hezero TP's back to the wave, but I don't actually think he's getting too much on that TP. So in the next 2 minutes, there is going to be a TP advantage from the side of Nordavind, with Kerberos, of course, having that up and Hezero not having it any longer. So this is going to make the rest of the game really hard for Granit to play until that comes up. They can create any skirmish they want and have backup from the top side of the map. So Granit, they're going to be forced to forfeit a lot now.
Give his plates to Crispberg. There we go. Make sure he gets all the gold. They do pick up at least one plate onto Crispberg. Looks like Granit now feeling comfortable to make their way back over and try and catch up on the farm. Because remember, Babel actually had a CS lead over Crispberg earlier on. So a massive wave got crashed in when they died during that last play. And at the end of the day, that is going to be all she wrote, really, for Babel. Is now trying to play catch up to Crispberg, who has a pretty big gold lead over him. You can see on your screens right now, 900 gold lead for Crispberg. Zero just can take himself a little bit of damage. Kraken Slayer almost finished up now. You got the crit cloak, you got the pickaxe to just the noon quiver and attack speed boots for Babel.
They get so much more as well. They get to clear out the entire blue side jungle from indecision as well. You can see Sharp now actually a level up, and that's kind of what they need to do here. While there's no major neutral objectives up like the Baron, you want to pay attention to the camp timers. You want to set up your wave so you'll always have priority to go in and invade. Indecision needs to be careful here.
Yeah, goes in for the slash, gets caught out by the solar flare, and everybody's coming in. Indecision just gives his life over. We've seen quite a lot of this today on Xin Zhao's, where they just feel too hypey, jump in and then pay the price.
And I honestly don't know where that came from. You had no bot lane pressure, you had no mid lane pressure, and it was just... Rift Herald is going to be forfeited a bit again. It seemed like he pushed it up to try and get in for some vision around the Drake, like he didn't want to forfeit it, but as I said, it's really not much you can do in that situation. Kerberos even TP'd as well. So, yeah, just a really lost situation. And now you might be forced to back off with this tower as well. No mid lane prio. Everyone's moved down. And I think this is just gone. Wixo, I don't know why you're staying.
They're bringing teleporter. They're bringing back up. Babral, though, can't join because the Akali's zoning him away. Mutus made his way over. And that's it. Buster Shot was used by Chrisberg and teleport by Muta. Overall, good trade for the side of Nordavind.
And you can see bot lane, they are thinking about recalling on this one. They're actually going to let Touch recall and then Chrisberg stay with this one. So there could be a dive potential, but no. They actually just decide to move on towards the Drake. Now they're actually moving back onto Chrisberg because they see him alone. And now they're moving back to the Drake. Very indecisive right now, but it will look like this next Drake is just going to go over to the side of Granit, rather. And they're looking for the cross map instead, Nordavind. But Zero is just going to be recalling. No, actually, no, he can't do it.
There's a lot of damage off, but he's caught out. The spear comes in. The slam is there. And Kerberos will slice and dice his way for a kill. 7-2 in the scores right now. Only just over 1,000 gold separates these teams, but Granit are shoving in this wave, and he gave a couple of plates over to Babral solo. He's going to get a couple more. Indecision and Wixo are just going to hold the flanks to make sure Babral not too exposed here, and that's a bunch of solo gold, and Chrisberg might find himself caught out. The headbutt, the pole, the knockup, the CC is layered, and Chrisberg will find himself dead, shut down by Babral, and Ericsson has to flip out the safety as he jumps back in, gets himself the kill. The zap goes wide, and Ericsson flashes away to safety. Here comes Touch, and Wixo may find himself on the receiving end of an Akali. Has to flash away over the wall to safety. The solar flare will lock him in place, but Wixo able to escape, able to survive.
But that is huge. That is huge, getting a shot down on Bybor here. Really the backline carry you need in this moment, because we talk about it a lot. Proactive team comps. You just get so much more out of them in this kind of meta right now. You can see it. Akali just moving down as well. Sharp. 2 levels up now on towards the Nidalee. So whilst in Sour spent time clearing the Drake and coming down bottom for that Drake, went up towards the top side, got a kill onto Hesero, cleared out some camps, and it's now just really making a difference. So it's not only the gold lead, but also the hidden gold lead in those levels.
We've seen this twice today, this matchup as well, the Nidalee versus the Xin Zhao, and both times it's been very Nidalee favored. The Nidalee out-farming, outperforming the Xin Zhao, as Sharp now able to pick up a Rift Herald for the team. Indecision was able to at least pick up that first Rift Herald, and that resulted in some plates and a bunch of gold getting funneled in on to the side of Babral, but Babral's still down to his counterpart. Now, Babral has picked up the Kraken Slayer, so matching a full item with Chrisberg. But Nordavind, they've already rotated their members around, and on the other side of the map, Granit might be looking for a little collapse onto Ericsson. Ericsson has got that killer instinct, but doesn't have the flash available. It's actually perfect execution. I'm getting Akali and Kai'Sa modeled up. Ericsson just about dodging out the wind, becoming lightning.
They need to be careful here, though. If they keep staying down bottom with so many members, yeah, Rift Herald is just going to get dropped, and might even get a second charge here after this one, just because of all the priority. You can see Kerberos from the top side moving down towards mid as well, and looks like Muta will be able to stop that Rift Herald push from coming through, but no trade will be had here. Fireball didn't really get that bottom tier turret himself.
It's not been a particularly great game from Hezero as well. 1-2 on the set. Hezero's actually had a really good start to the NLC in all of the other games, but this has just not been the one for him. As Ericsson once again is seeing Babral in the bot lane. They get the headbutt Polv off, and I mean, that's kind of it. Is Indecision making his way over, but he might just find himself caught out. Goes in for the ulti. Ericsson flips back, but has the follow-up. The great ulti comes in. The Super Mega Death Rocket's enough as a shockwave to follow as well. That's Babral finding himself a kill onto Ericsson. His Zero flashes over the wall, and Chrisberg is being chased. The spears connect, and his Zero pulls one in. Tries to get the shield off of the face breaker. Touch is just able to survive, and his Zero comes in for the slam. His Zero is able to survive as Kurt finds himself a kill, locking down members. Babral flashes away to safety. A double kill has been picked up, but Muta able to find a return kill in response. Granit do end up losing out on the trade, but it was very, very close.
Yeah, you can see how close these skirmishes really become here. Kerberos really fed on towards the Granit, and then we do have a pause. Meanwhile, we go through this replay. Starts out with Wixo finding a pick onto Akali, but he's so isolated right now. There's no one to follow it up, and you can already see The collapse is starting to come through from Nordavind, and they get a nice solar flare into 2 targets. Shockwave just about missed its touch while he's in there. Chrisberg almost going down. Bybro really not feeling the flash. I think there was a window for him to go for it there, and pay attention to shot or touch HP here. So close to go down. 1 extra reset would have been monumental for Bybro. He doesn't get it, and it's enough time for the rest of Nordavind to pick up 1 kill, get Kerberos a kill, make Chrisberg get the reset, but Muta has done a good job of just farming up this entire game to, you know, kind of still be a threat.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we have had a pause, hence why we're back on our faces. We're having some lag issues. Normally, these things take a couple of minutes while they just restart routers and things and get ready to go back in. But yeah, we are seeing, you know, the strengths of both of the team comps there. I think when you're in a chokehold and you're playing into an Orianna, a Jinx, that is kind of where they want to thrive, because they want to be able to shoot the AoE rockets out, get the big shockwave on multiple members. And that was the strength there. But Granit, you know, they are still down in gold. And I think that was also reflected because at the end of the day, Nordavind do trade up in the fight, but the turret's going to go down for the side of Granit. They got themselves a couple of kills. So Granit overall probably can't be too disheartened by that fight. They got a bunch of gold funneled onto Babro, some gold funneled onto Muta. These are the people who need to get the money. They need to get the items. As we are heading back onto the rift as the tower collapses as stated. And we're going to see what this kind of reflects now as they're going in for the resets off the back of that team fight. Babro, I don't expect to have a full item here, but probably going to get the Zeal and a couple of long swords, and there it is.
Yeah, going for a Phantom Dance as a second item. So I'd like to know how the gold actually looks like after that little fight as well, because we can see Muta starting to pick up some good items as well. Yeah, so still a gold lead for Muta between the mid laners, but Chrisberg as an AD carry still ahead, and then the big one in the jungle and up towards the top side here with Nordavind Kurt being very far ahead onto the Renekton, and it's going to take some time before he can really get busted down. We're looking at a Dominic's regards for Bybro before that will essentially happen. You need some of that cut down.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, no Rift Heralds up. The dragon spawning in 27 seconds, so I expect to see the action kind of break down around this area. Muta quite happy up in the top lane as he has teleport. Curb, same for him. But now, Nordavind are the ones who are going to grip themselves the pressure in the mid lane. And honestly, Granit don't have to fight this. They can give it up if they want to. If they're not feeling ready to go for this, that is absolutely okay for them. Nordavind, they're not going to say no, though, to a tower. Oh, sorry, not to a tower, to a dragon. And they may get a tower as well if they're shoving and forcing a zero off. Muta getting jumped onto by Curb. The shockwave comes in and Muta just continues to poke and prod as Curb has to pop the Dominus, going very low here thanks to Muta. And that's the flash, the wind becoming lightning, and Indecision will find the kill. Beautiful kill there for Granit as the tower goes down in the bottom lane thanks to Ericsson. But Muta should be able to take the top lane tower in trade. The dragon will be traded up there for Nordavind though.
Yeah, I'm not really happy with how some of our teams here in the league plays off when you're committing a play to the other side of the map. Both top laners here has really fallen for the weak side curse, where they're just not respecting that, yo, we're the weak side right now, guys. We can't actually commit to a play. So when Nordavind devotes so many members down towards the bot side of the map, I think Kerberos just needs to get out of there. He didn't see anyone mid, and they're all moving up towards that top side of the map. So yeah, nicely punished for Granit.
And on the other side, we saw Hezero do what Kerberos should have done, which is just back off and go, okay, this tower's dead. There's nothing I can do. I'll catch the wave that comes in afterwards. So Hezero playing respectful and not paying the price. Now, Kerb's still obviously pretty strong on this Renekton. Has now just finished up the Steric, so it's a little bit harder to burst through as the Phantom Dance has been finished up for Babro. Phantom Dance onto Chrisberg as well. So AD carries matching each other here. Although Babro does have the stopwatch, which might prove pretty important if Ericsson looks to jump in onto him. Baron Nashor spawning up in a second, and I'm not sure whether or not we'll see a team go for it this early, but technically, Nordavind do have the capability to chunk for it fairly quickly with Chrisberg. 2 items now on the Tristana.
So on the Jinx as well, and stopwatch in the inventory as well for Bybro. I think that's going to be crucial when we are watching these skirmishes arise, and Akali is going to try to execute it. But as you said yourself, there is not that many neutral objectives right now that essentially needs to be fought for. And as Granit right now, you can't take it slow as you are. You can wait for Ericsson to push out that top side. As soon as that is pushed out, well, you just put Muta up there. Back off in the mid lane. You can essentially forfeit a lot here. You have 2 blue trinkets. Bybro's on cooldown right now, but Muta's still up and available. And what that essentially means is that you can always call the bluff if the Baron is looking to get started.
Okay, so what do you think the game plan is for Nordavind right now? Because it feels like Granit are just kind of playing slower. They want to slow this game down, get some farm, get some items. What do Nordavind need to do?
They can still kind of handshake it a bit because a lot of it will come down to execution as well. It's not like we're looking onto Nordavind and then we're just like, oh, they're just getting completely outscaled. It's really nothing like that. But what they can do right now to accelerate it is make use of this lane push you can have. You can see if the reset had been a bit faster, get the push in towards the top side, get the push in towards the mid lane, and then start to pick up some of these camps. Make sure that there's nothing Granit Gaming can actually get back into this game. As you can see, they're doing it right now. Pushing in the top side, pushing in the mid lane, clearing out the vision, trying to make sure that Indecision or Babro can't really get these camps to get themselves this extra XP. And you know, that benefits them a lot on Nordavind as well. The fact that Crispberg can pick up Raptor camps in the long run is going to matter a lot. That's extra gold every time you're able to steal a camp away.
Nordavind are just wrestling complete control of this barren side of the map. They've got lots of wards scattered around the area, lighting it up like a Christmas tree. As Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, we'll hit sharp, so they go, okay, he's not in the pit. Odds are it's not going on, but that's now a big tool down. And touches sharp coming in on the flank. I don't think we're going to see anything happen here as Wixo does eat a max range spear, and that's going to hurt him somewhat. Although they might be looking for it. No, they're not.
I was going to say, it is very aggressive posturing from Granit. And but it seems like they just stick to the game plan. Wait for Ericsson to push out the top wave. As soon as he's done that, all right, we put Mudo up towards the top side, and then Byboy's just backing off towards the mid lane. And now the third Drake will be respawning in 1 minute, and I think that's going to be that neutral objective that both teams can see themselves fight for. Really, you can see Mudo in the base has also picked up the Seraph's Embrace, so a lot of extra AP onto the side of the Orianna. Bible, as we mentioned earlier, does have that stopwatch, but he is down right now in items against
about to go to base.
Yeah, let's see what he gets.
Oh, he's down a pit. He's down a BF sword. That's pretty rough. But it does have a ward for the team, so being a bit of a team player here. They are getting back onto the map, and again, Granit technically can give this one up, but that means every dragon from this point on is soul, so they have to play with that in mind. Muta, thanks to the shielding from his Command Protect, was able to dodge some of the damage from Sharp Spear there. The Zero's going in for a quick reset. There's not really too many places for him to teleport. Vabro eats a spear. He's chunked out, and I think that might just be enough as Wixo is going to get jumped onto. Has to pop the ultimate. A chunked AD carry, an outless Alistair. I think it's just going to be Dragon conceded here for the side of Granit.
Even after this Drake, he could be a bit cheeky as Nordavind and then say, all right, AD carry's gonna back off. No ult onto Alistar. We could try and force out Hero TP if we wanted to.
Oh, there it goes. Dragon will fall, and Nordavind one away from that Mountain Soul. Seen a lot of Mountain Souls there, actually. Good one.
Yeah, we actually have. It's
Yesterday was Infernal. It was all Infernals.
Well, we've seen a lot of teams lose with Soul actually as well. Well, maybe not so much here in our league actually, but we do see quite a lot this season. And from my opinion, I think it may be a bit controversial opinion really, but it does seem like Soul becomes less and less of a win condition, and it more comes down to how you actually make use of, well, the team compositions that you have and what they accelerated doing. Because right now from the side of Granit, with or without Soul, we all know that what they're going to be looking for is that late game, and if they can get to that scot-free,
yeah,
they are looking quite nice.
The pace of the game is definitely slowed down. We had a lot of action early. Granit are now down in gold. Looking just to try and keep themselves relevant for the moment, though. Muta actually almost level 16, so closing in on that level 3 shockwave, and it looks like Granit finally are going to try and chip away at this tower, but with the spears and the Leona and everything about it, it's a little bit too scary for them to hang around. The 5 members of Granit, they're trying to force this tower down, and that means they can maybe push and catch the waves in different positions, a bit further up, and, you know, contest the next dragon more efficiently. But again, unfortunately, we have had ourselves a little bit of lag, but it shouldn't be too long once again until we get back onto the map. But yeah, I wonder what your kind of thoughts are on this current game state, because it was a very aggressive start, and then it just feels a little bit like the brakes have been put on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will ask that question as well. Why is it that some games feel so much more snowballed and some does not? In this scenario, it is just because you have one team, which all of their game plan to do right now is that they just want to slow down the game. They don't want to make any plays. They don't want to access any team fights. They just want to farm out until they feel confident. And on the other side, you kind of, I'm not going to say they are going to get stressed, because they are still looking great in terms of map state. They are the one who's pushing in Nordavind. They are the one who's onto the Drake stacking. They are the one who's looking to get Baron. But at one point in time, they're going to have to say, all right, we're going to throw everything at this objective, and you're going to have to come at us. And they need to do that soon. I think after they've gotten the soul, because I actually think they will get it, then I think it comes down to, right, we're going to make a Baron dance, and we're going to have to turn on you guys. And if you don't do that, I think Granit might just run away with the scaling. You need to be proactive with the tools that you have.
Well, as the other pause has ended on our end, hopefully we'll be getting back into the action any moment. It's going on our end. As we'll keep our eye on what's going on, because it looks like we're seeing a little bit of action starting to break out instantly. As soon as this replay has ended. Not replay, sorry, this pause has ended. Keep our eye on exactly what's going to happen here.
Are you in game?
I'm in game. Are you going to radio cast it? I'm going to break the fourth wall here. Our observer obviously went for a coffee. He nodded. The action's breaking out. Here comes the 0. Wixo looking for an opportunity to jump in forwards here. Fostering up, gets the shockwave onto just one. The dot rockets enough as Indecision gets the kill. The teleport's coming in, and it looks like they're continuing to go on. The Dominus is there. Indecision jumps in with a 3-point strike, but Muta and Babro are untouched and free-firing and just ripping through the members of Granit of Nordavind, as Chrisberg and Sharp able to survive. 3 members on both teams stand.
And out of nowhere, really with no objective to fight for, I think the thought process for Granit was just there. All right, Chrisberg is overstepped. Let's just go for it. If we get him, we can force the Baron. But Chrisberg, you gotta credit him for that rocket jump. Really nice. Done with the, what is it called? The buffer onto the rocket jump to come away from the Alistar knockup. I like the trigger. How willing they were to pull the trigger. And wow, they're actually just gonna start this. I think they could just do this.
Reset. I think they've got it. No one's in the area. Muta has teleport, but there's no wards. Actually, there's one just off in the tri-brush, but I think it's gone. There's no rocket. There's no anything. They know it's happening. It's just too little. It's just too late. Granit just caught sleeping.
Yeah, I think Granit misread that situation a bit there, but there we see it. Look, nice W onto minion and then flash onto Chrisberg, but once again the buffer, and then it's just about the team fight potential we see here. We talk about how good they are once they play together, and really nice knock up onto the Akali as well, never getting onto the backline. Now I think that spear from Sharp really solidifies the deal, forces them to back off, but as you said yourself, they got caught sleeping. They backed with too many members away from the Baron, and Nordavind just punished that.
And Zero and Muta were in the bot wave. They were like at tier 2 bot lane, the pair of them for some reason. So yeah, I mean, if someone had been around just to threaten, that Baron wouldn't have happened. And now I think Nordavind have just given themselves the tools to blow this game open. They're 5,000 gold up. That's only going to grow here, unless Granit can find a snap engage once again. But Wixo flashless, meaning he can't just quickly flash onto someone. It's going to have to be a really, really nice flank.
And we can kind of take a look onto gold here. It has always been in the favor of Nordavind, as we talked about. Granit has been forced to kind of play this game back foot, as they just want to be scaling, and there's a lot more tools to be proactive with Nordavind's composition. But that Baron, you can really see the lead. And now, 1 minute onto Drake, we need to take a look for Granit. Onto the Orianna, onto the Jinx. Those are going to be the key members from Granit to get in here, but they're making it so damn difficult for them. Baron buff on Nordavind, infinite pressure, it almost feels like. And Chrisberg now with 3 items finished, the Vampiric Scepter as well. It's looking
there's
really
also 3
strong
items
here.
on Babro. Babro has finished up the Infinity Edge. I mean, these rockets are going to start to hurt. Ericsson off to the side lane, shoving away, and I think this might just be their moment to pull the trigger, but Indecision eating spears, and Sharp just playing off in the fog of war, throwing spears, throwing skill shots. 18 seconds until Soul spawns for Nordavind. Another good spear onto Babra will be enough just to force them away. Or Wixo, apparently. They do look for Curb. The speed up comes in from the Shirelias, and Wixo has eaten 2 spears in a row. He's chunked out. And I think that means they may just have to get this dragon up. They can't fight it now.
There's nothing to do about it. I think that Baron play really was a misread once again from Granit. It put all the pressure on this game over to Nordavind. They can literally do whatever they want onto the map. They have the soul now. They have Baron buff, and I think they're just going to be starting to siege down these turrets. They can push into mid lane. They can put their 2 solo laners out towards the side lane, and they can just get their 1-3-1 composition up and running.
Well, Baron buff should be on for a little bit longer here for Nordavind. Can Granit hold any more towers? Can they hold on to the gold for the moment? It looks like they're going to be able to hold on to mid lane for now. Favoral's still very much a threat, but it's sharp. It's honestly just sharp. He's not even carrying fights because he's just stopping fights from even happening by landing these spears onto key people, poking them out and forcing them away.
Sorry, I was...
Chrisberg will be building towards what I assume will be his Bloodthirster as his next item. He's pretty close, actually. 2,000 gold in the inventory. He's got a 2,000 lead over Babra.
You can kind of see the leads on the rest of the map. They are still there. Kerberos, 3,000 gold up on his hero. And 2,000 in the jungle as well. It really just has been a Nordavind game.
It really has. Flash is now up for Wixo, so I'd like to see that kind of snap engage against that decisive play. They've actually got the flank coming in from his Zero, who's moving over into this red side. As the spear goes a little bit wide, they speed up Wixo, and Wixo is looking for it. He wants this fight. He wants this opportunity to set up the team while Curve isn't about.
Need to be careful here, though. Curve does have teleport, can join the fight whenever.
There's the knock up onto touch. Goes Golden. Great bop away for the moment as they are looking for a bit more damage as Curve's coming in. Babra and Muta untouched, but Curve's going to slide in. They knock him up. They CC him through everything, but the shielding is huge. Babra's untouched, and his Zero is buying time. Same for Kerberos, though, as he's going to get zapped. He's going to get shockwave. No, he's not. They mistimed everything. The rocket! Not quite enough to take out Curve. Ericsson has to be careful as he flashes away from the zap, and Chrisberg now doing some serious damage. And one more reset is all he needs. A double kill for Chrisberg. He's looking for the next one. He has to stop one. Babra's going lower. Sharp jumps in forwards. The zap goes a little bit wide. The spear connects. More rockets from Babra, but it's not quite enough to finish up the kill. This is close team fighting.
And you can see it really just comes down to an execution, but double TP comes in now from the side of Ericsson and Kerberos. I think they want to end it right here, right now.
It's going to have to be a miracle from Granit. They've got a few more seconds until the team are up, so they may just be happy with taking the inhibitor in the mid and the bot lane. Although Muta might be able to stop them from doing so. Granit hold on by the skin of their teeth.
But a lot was blown in that fight as well. Chrisberg does crucially still have all his summoner spells for the next fight, but no carries on Granit right now. Has that. And that can make it very difficult should anyone get access to the backline.
Let's have a look at the fight again. It was just Curve's flank just completely shut Muta and Babra out from being able to DPS.
I will say, though, it's really great peel from the side of his hero. He does get a nice flash to get the kill on towards touch as well and actually even it out. And then Shockwave, unfortunately, a bit mistimed. He had that hit. I think this could have been a completely different fight from Granit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a bit more tightening up. Chrisberg found the reset. Got himself a quick double kill. And Babra and Muta are able to survive this as we come back with the replay and we go straight into action. Solar Flare lands, but Zero's been caught out. Babra and Muta just continuing to fire away. Watch for the shockwave. They need to make it land. They need to make it big. There's the Shuriken flip by Ericsson onto the backline, jumping straight into Muta's face. Muta's going low. Ericsson's going in. The shockwave's there. Ericsson made the play happen. He made it work. Nordavind wipe everyone off the map, and this is going to be the game.
Yeah, Granit game in waiting 30 minutes to find the perfect fight, and when it finally happened here, it was just too uncoordinated. It's been Nordavind favored throughout the whole game. Baron, Soul coming in, and now should be the game finally for them.
absolutely beautiful team fighting from Nordavind all around, and 33 minutes on the clock with 21 kills and an 11,000 gold lead. Nordavind take out Granit.
And once again, I said it at the start of the game. I say it again. I think scaling can be very bait in this meta. I think you need a lot of tools in the early game to put yourself in a favorable situation. But I will say that Baron is probably what solidified this game. The fact that Granit made that misread probably put them way further behind than they probably should have been.
Yeah, honestly, a really, really heads-up play there from Nordavind, wrong team, from Nordavind to be able to get that Baron and kind of swing the gold in the game in their favor. Anyway, it's time for us to throw to a quick break. When we're back, we'll have the analyst desk to talk a little bit more about that win, so we'll see you in a moment.